Hello, viewers. Welcome to another edition of the Connect series. Today we have our guest, Dr. Aman Bhosle, who is a PhD in psychotherapy. Considering that the world will be observing October 10th as the Mental Health Day, and considering the issues around mental health, particularly during the COVID, the lockdown period, we thought of having a chat with Dr. Bhosle. Welcome to the show, Dr. Bhosle.
Hi
Uh,
there. Hi.
what are the hi, to begin with, what are the main causes that cause mental illness briefly?
Mental illness is caused by several factors. I mean, we usually break them down into two things: nature, which is your genetics, what you have inherited from your family, the gene pool, so to speak, and the other is
Okay.
nurture. Nurture is the second one. How you were brought up, what were the situation that you were subjected to while you were growing up, whether it was how you were treated by your teachers in school, how your family members behaved with you, the kind of social relationships you built while growing up. They tend to have an imprinting quality on your personality and how you become or how you see the world, your perceptions, your fears, they're all affected by the experiences. So, therefore, there is nature, which you really can't control because that's in your gene pool, and there's nurture, how the parents, how society itself has brought the child up. So, these are the two factors that may affect a person's mental health or rather attitude towards life over a sustained period of time.
Yeah. So it is natural as well as inherited, or it could be because of the circumstances that one is brought up.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So, but what kind of remedial steps normally do we recommend in normal course of time?
Could you please repeat that? I couldn't hear the question.
Treatment, is it a prolonged treatment? What is the
You mean for mental illness?
Yeah.
Well,
What are the normal remedial measures, normal treatment?
remedial measures. All right.
Yeah,
So see,
yeah.
there is no one size fits all remedial measure. It really depends on what kind of disorder or condition the client has come to you with. So there are mood related disorders, there are personality disorders, then there are attitudinal problems. So there are several professionals that need to be involved. A psychiatrist would be a medical doctor who would give you pills to manage certain errant moods that are making you feel low or depressed or anxious, or that are affecting your sleep and your ability to focus, etc. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a psychotherapist. So what we do is we work with people and help them change their attitudes. So it's a little bit of a cognitive therapy, CBT, behavior therapy, etc. So I would say it's a multi-pronged approach really. So it really depends on what the client has come, worried about. What have they come to you with? What are they putting on the table? Um, so there are so many issues. There are issues where there are family disputes. There are issues where the relationship is falling apart, whether they are married or engaged or just dating each other. There are issues of anxiety, anger, stress, feeling stressed because of the expectations of the office or of society, or there are money problems. So I would say it's a very eclectic approach that you, as a practitioner, you need to follow in terms of bringing them heightened awareness about their thinking processes, and also sort of teaching them how to adjust with a situation that may be presenting a challenge to them. There are several measures that need to be taken. Firstly, it's important for the client to be aware, um, to have an understanding of what they are really worried about. It's like if you're a hungry person, you know how hungry you are, right? So the client has to
Yeah.
come, share, and the psychotherapist, like me, will talk, negotiate, and introduce new ideas, new concepts, new solutions, but also not do all the legwork for the client. You also want to make them independent thinkers, free thinkers, so they can find creative ways out of their problems and sort of not feel trapped on an ongoing basis by their terrible bosses, annoying parents, uh, you know, uh, spouses who sort of bully them, etc.
So, is bipolar disorder associated with mental issues? What
Bipolar
is
is just one of the many mood-related disorders. It's also known as a manic depressive personality type. It has several levels, and usually bipolar is treated on an ongoing basis, sometimes on a lifelong basis, by a psychiatrist, because that has something to do
okay?
with lithium levels in your blood, etc. So one of the many ones. It's the more popular one
Okay.
because nowadays, especially after Sushant Singh Rajput's suicide, a
Yeah.
lot of questions about these disorders, and everyone wants to know about it. So bipolar is just one
This
of the more popularly mentioned disorders. There are several. There are several. There are entire books this thick filled with just lists of disorders that are constantly updated. But for me, I'm not so excited about finding a label for the disorder. For me, it's really about helping the client correct their attitudes, manage their expectations, improve their communication, heighten their awareness, and improve their interpersonal relationships, because that's where on a day-to-day basis they're going to be facing challenges, and that's where they really want to focus their energies. So that's what I like to
No, as you said, in view of the Sushant Singh Rajput case, this bipolar issue has suddenly come into limelight and focus.
yeah.
Everybody has started talking about it. But talking about the COVID-related issues, in the sense the lockdown has been causing a lot of stress. And I was just reading the WHO statistics that in the 93% of the countries they have reported mental illness, mental health issues because of the stress and strain. And India also, some statistics say that 1 out of 10 persons has mental health issues. So, what do you think is causing this sudden spurt in mental related issues?
Well, there are series of factors, really. I mean, the economy has been taking a nosedive for as long as we can remember, since March. So there is the shortage of money, and we all know that when there is no money, uh, people start getting worried, isn't it? Because they have mouths to
Yeah,
feed and dreams to fulfill. Another
yeah,
reason is, of course, the isolation that social distancing has started, exacerbating. People not being able to meet their friends, etc. I haven't met a single friend in 7 months, except like this. Like you and me are friends.
oh,
We're talking on video call. I've been completely cut off from other people. I live alone. So, even as a mental health practitioner, there are some days where I feel, "Arey yaar, damn it, I wish I could meet my friends." Simple
yeah.
drive or go out for a pizza. But of course, that is, a very challenging thing to do, despite the fact that restaurants are going to be opening very soon, or maybe some have already opened. So, social isolation affects people in varying degrees, especially if you perceive yourself through the eyes of others. For example, you don't enjoy your own company. You only enjoy your company when you're among 4, 5 other people. You enjoy what you
Others.
become around them rather than who you are when you're alone with your thoughts, with your books, with your Netflix shows, etc.
That is true.
So that kind of social isolation also forces you to really contend with your own thoughts. And sometimes those
Yeah,
thoughts,
man is a social animal. Whatever he does, he
absolutely.
basically sort of keeps others in mind.
Yes,
The
yes,
way he dresses himself, the way there's a lot of people who can't eat alone. There are a lot of people who don't drink alone.
correct.
They all of them require a
It's,
company.
it's,
And
it's a,
in a place like Mumbai, when all of us keep moving around, and in fact, though we have weekend holidays, you have a lot of rush in the local trains, and the traffic is now always, roads are always crowded.
yep,
So in that kind of a scenario, this forced kind of a house arrest. A lot of people take it as a
yeah,
house arrest because
pretty
he's
much.
unable to get. And in house arrest, at least you go out, you pocket out in a compound, you don't get out. But here, you just don't open the door only, and
Mm,
it has created a lot of stress and strain for the children also, because I was talking to a school program the other day.
hmm.
They were saying that they heard a lot of children hanging out of the windows. Mama, I want to go out. Why can't I go out? It took some time for them to come down to settle them, with their lives, and come down to a reality that yes, you actually you cannot go out. But do you think? I mean, might sound like a political question, but do you think the sudden imposition of the lockdown has caused more issues?
Well,
What is your
the
experience?
suddenness is extremely debatable because here we are dealing with an invisible enemy. There is a virus that doesn't have a political agenda. A virus kills everyone without discrimination. It depends
Yeah.
on how old you are and if you have any comorbidities. So that's what makes it so unpredictable. And if history has taught us anything, that when we can't predict what's going to happen, we get extremely anxious, angry,
Yeah.
and even resentful about the situation. So there is a lack of precedence in most of this generation's lifetimes
Yes.
for this kind of situation. You can't even touch something without worrying about dying. It's a very unusual situation. It's like being in war times. You know, the way
Yeah.
a child who grew up during World War II in a Jewish home had a very
Yeah.
different kind of fear that at any moment someone is going to kick the door open and, I'm going
Correct.
to be at the butt end of a gun. So that was a
Yeah.
fear every child during World War II grew up with. Similarly, current fear is, oh, can I go out without, it not threatening my family or without not threatening my health? So there are threats, there are unknown threats. But the fact is that these have to be dealt with in a practical manner, because when you get emotional about this, you start feeling like a victim. You start feeling like this, you are the only
Correct.
person with whom this is happening, but that's not the case. It is a shared burden in every society, regardless. In America, has even Donald Trump has recently been, uh, you know,
Yes. Diagnosed.
diagnosed, etc. So I mean, it's not just exclusive to a poor person or an apartment complex or a floor or a religious community or a special interest group. Everyone is under attack by this virus. And we have found some interim solutions. We are still waiting for a vaccine. Russia seems to have one. So hopefully, we'll soon have one. So these are difficult times, and it's not just about mental illness. I think it's also about being able to adjust to a new way of social functioning as well.
Yeah.
So anytime a human being has to change their habits or change their lifestyle, they feel stressed out, because we are creatures
I.
of habit. The more we repeat something, the more it becomes ingrained to our personality. For example, if I've been writing with my right hand all my life, if I suddenly switch hands, I won't be able to even write simple alphabet despite having a
Correct.
PhD. Why? Because I've
Yeah.
never used this hand to write. Something so
Yes.
simple. We all learned to write so many years ago. They'll say, "Arey, you have a
Yeah.
PhD, how come you can't write with your left hand?" Arey, there's been no practice. Similarly, we have a lack of practice with being by ourselves, a lack of practice with not going out every Friday night, a lack of practice with this format, not having. Even in India, we are very physical as a community. We like our Ganesh Chaturthis, we like our Navratris, even our
Yes.
thali has so many things in it. We're a very colorful country of extremes and dramas and Bollywood. But this situation has kind of come with a rolling pin and flattened everyone out. So you are left to contend with your own thoughts. So not everyone has happy thoughts in here. Not everyone is
Yeah.
able to smile in the face
True.
of danger. Not everyone even
Yeah.
understands what danger means. So different people will suffer at different rungs of the human experience.
Dr. Bosle, do you think the problem also arises when you start resisting yourself?
Yeah.
Resisting something
Yes, yes, yes.
from outside is different. Resisting enforced system is different. When you start resisting yourself, there's the dichotomy in the mind, and then
Very
that
true.
kind of a stress and strain occurs.
When you're scared of your thoughts, when you're scared of what am I
Yeah.
going to do with myself now that I'm all alone, because I've not made myself interesting enough to myself. So I find my own company boring. How are you going to escape yourself? A lot of
Yeah.
people, who go for travels, they say that, oh, I enjoy traveling alone, but when I reach the destination, I realize I have brought myself along. I brought myself along, along with one
Yeah.
suitcase. So why do we hate ourselves so much? Why do we misunderstand ourselves? It's because since childhood, all people are conditioned to follow certain dictums, to follow certain structures, to follow certain
Yeah.
rules based on what our
Yes.
teachers, our elders, our cousins, our family, our societies, our communities, our financial status dictates. So we are used to seeing ourselves through several of these systems, to several of these criterias. But the fact is, a criteria varies from place to place, from which year you were born in, and what were the values of that era versus what were the values of the era your parents were born in or your grandparents were born in. But what happens is thought processes and habits don't get updated the way fashion does or hairstyles do. Uh, So that needs to be updated, like a good OS in a smartphone that keeps needing updating. You have to refresh the apps, refresh
Right.
the OS. You have to keep
Rebooting, restarting yourself.
correct. You have to not
But I
reboot,
think,
refresh, and
yeah,
upgrade yourself.
yeah. Doctor, I think one of the main issues was also, as far as the mental assessment is concerned, people are expecting this to be over maybe too sooner than expected. First, it was stated
Yeah.
21 days, then you said 2 months, then you said 72 ghanta, then you had other, all other, issues like Thali Bajao and all that. People, uh, do you think some kind of a false hope that was drilled in, that was given, that was created, also added to the problems?
Well, we can only speculate at this point, in my opinion. So there is no concrete timeline that has been established by the PM or anyone. And it's not like Modi ji himself is going to be finding a cure for the virus because he's not a man from
Yeah.
the science or medical fraternity. But yes,
Yes.
there are pressures, there are internal pressures, political pressures, there are lobby groups, there are the pharma industry is, obviously trying to, get something out soon. So things are getting rolled out. There is no such thing like false hope. There is only hope. What happens is if that hope doesn't roll out at the speed at which you had expected
Yeah.
things to roll out, then you say, oh, it was a false hope. I hoped I would become a millionaire in 2 years. But you don't become a millionaire in 2 years. You say, oh, that's a false hope. No. Had you come up with $1 million idea and worked in accordance, maybe in 2 years you could have become a millionaire. But that has so much to do with the tax laws, what the economy is like, what capital you've put in, what kind of manpower does your endeavor require. So even your journey towards becoming a millionaire has so many factors. It's not just you against the world. There's so much collaboration, so much cohesion that needs to take place. Similarly, for a virus to be battled effectively, in my opinion, for some kind of cure to come out, it's a multi-pronged approach. It's not just कि somebody in one lab ये test tube में ये तैयार है अब जाके बनाओ. It's not like that,
True.
It's very there is regulation, there is testing, there is mass production, then there is how to reach it, to which category of do only rich people get it, or do only old people get it first, or do essential care workers get it first. So all this causes a little bit of, it's like our how when you too many cars are on the road, no cars move. Though all those
Also,
cars are
also,
capable of moving forward.
yeah, correct. Also, I think the last virus attack that we had, or the swine flu, it did not cause this kind of a damage, this kind of devastation as COVID is causing.
Right.
That could be that's where I think the expectations and everything have gone for a toss. But getting back to our social tensions and issues,
Yeah.
mental related issues, I think the new normal has taught us a lot of lessons. Is not only the way we live the new normal that is called, the way you work from home, distancing that you have to observe. You have to be doubly careful with when you meet people, when you greet people from outside. Other than that, including the upbringing, now that we are elders, we have children. So that way, I think we need to look at children, look at their mindset. That also requires a relook. Don't
Yeah,
you think so?
of
What's your
course.
take on?
100%, man. I mean, see, children are like wet clay, I would say. It's a very silly
Yeah.
example, but you can mold them. You can
Mold,
you can
yeah.
you can kind of shape their expectations. You can kind of give them something to work towards. So what happens is a lot of adults really screw up the process because
Yeah.
their own upbringing has been dubious. So I always say this that not all parents deserve to be mentors because even two
True.
squirrels can produce a little baby squirrel, even
Yeah.
even two dogs on the street can produce a little puppy. So to procreate requires no special skill. So you become a
Yes.
parent even if you're a dolphin.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but what is your role as a parent versus what is your biological function of just having produced the kids? Really, that is what affects how a child grows up. So Are you instilling your child with confidence, or are you burdening them with rules? Are you bullying your child because they can't fight back and as a scapegoat because you're having a frustrated marriage with your husband, or you hate your in-laws? So if a child comes in front, you start shout at the child, you're so stupid, you're like
Yeah.
everyone from your father's side of the family. You say something like that, what are you doing? What are you causing? So a lot of adults have not figured out how to deal with their own adulthood. So they kind of make their
Yeah.
children pawns, or they
True.
burden their children or force their children to do things that they couldn't do because they want to live vicariously through their children. So here's the thing, when it comes to children, please let children be children, support their natural abilities, give them as much exposure as possible, and don't condemn any emotion that they're experiencing. If they're
Yeah.
experiencing an emotion, help them come to terms with it and find a sensible way forward, instead of saying, how can you cry, you're a boy, only girls cry. Or if a
Yeah.
girl shouts, how can you shout, girls don't shout,
True.
otherwise if you shout, tere se shaadi kaun karega. So don't tell them what is the right emotion to feel. Don't tell them, don't mistrust your child. If your child is telling you something, is opening their heart to you, don't stamp on it just because you don't have time, or you don't have enough money, or because you're frustrated with your social life, because you're locked in your house. A child is very, very vulnerable. So you can take clay and you can turn it into a beautiful pot. You can turn it into something, a sculpture, but you can also take it and step on it and make it flat, and then it becomes part of the rasta, becomes
Also,
part
I
of the
think
road.
the issue of giving wrong examples or trying to compare your child with your childhood or somebody else's child,
Absolutely. You cannot, you
that
would,
kind of
if you grew
comparisons
up,
also.
absolutely, if you grew up in the 1970s and your child is growing up in the 2000s after 9/11, these are two very different
Yes.
societies, okay?
Yes.
Your child will not have not seen a world without the internet and iPads, okay? And you had to write letters and send telegrams, and you've come from very different eras, so they may not have an ability to wait for things. They may want everything instant. There's an app for everything. There's an app for love. There's an app for food. There's an app for movies. There's an app for everything. But
Yes.
when
Yeah.
you grew up, you didn't have an app. You were given one ball which you had to share among all your siblings, and you were given one wooden stick you used to take and go down, and everyone running with
True.
sticks. It was a very different world. So don't say hamare zamane mein, in our times we didn't have money, and now look, you have money. So you worked for that money to give that child a better lifestyle, isn't it? So you cannot keep bringing up the past to contextualize the present. Sometimes you need to contextualize the present based on the factors that govern the times that we are currently living in, not the past.
So I think that the process of learning, has to continue.
Yes,
The manual,
absolutely.
child is learning. As adults, we have to learn. When I become a grandparent, I have to learn how to deal with my
Yes,
grandchild. At
absolutely.
the same time, I will be dealing with my son and daughter. At the same
Yes.
time, that with my wife. I think this process of, like you said, like you reboot, recharge your mobile, or whatever your phone that you have,
100%.
app. So that I think, and also as you keep experimenting with new apps, whether it works or not, I think that process continues in real life as well.
Absolutely, and that is the secret to good mental health, to keep yourself physically fit, to keep yourself emotionally fit, to manage your expectations, to alter your attitudes, to build a good network with people who you can rely on, to share, to collaborate, to grow, to upgrade your skills, to learn new things, to have a curiosity, to have, as you said, to have a curious
Yeah.
appetite, and to have a desire to learn and sort of, do new things.
Yeah. Another thing is this issue of learning from home. Like working from home is creating one issue. Learning from home is actually doubling the stress and stress at home. That for I'm glued to my laptop, my mobile for my work or whatever, and the child is at home. He or she gets her homework, classes. This added strain is adding to the mental stress. Have you come across any such cases?
Yeah, parents are having trouble get their kids to, sit in front of the laptop and not multitask. So when your class is going
Yes.
on, are you playing a game on the side, or are you chatting with your friends on the side, or are you checking your Instagram on the side? So that
That
kind of,
policing, that policing,
yeah, the
that kind
policing.
of policing.
Yes, the parents feel the child is not, focused, or is, spread out across several activities and is not doing any one activity with concentration. So this is a challenge,
Yeah.
but I would argue to say that even if your child was going to school and in a live classroom, they would still be distracted by looking at some classmate or looking outside the window,
True.
or maybe they'll check their phone below their table. So that tendency has nothing to do with uh, the child being at home. So that would have happened anyway. Human beings are distractible. If you are not entertaining them or you're not informing them in a nice, succinct manner, or you're boring the hell out of them as a speaker, as a teacher, as a school, as an education institute, then you have lost them. Because now in society, people have very short attention spans because they have
Yeah.
constantly there's some buzz going on their WhatsApp groups, on Snapchat, Instagram alert. So it's like being constantly tuned into the stock exchange. अरे अभी क्या हुआ? अभी कितने point ऊपर गया? अभी कितने
Correct.
नीचे गया? So it's like this information stock exchange that we are a part of.
True.
So a lot of people have, and this is not gonna go away anytime soon. I don't think so, at least.
Yeah.
So the parents now are just subjected to that. They didn't see their children do this as much before, but because you are constantly in each other's faces, every small, every small annoying habit is now that
True.
much more amplified and visible because you are constantly
True.
spying at each other. You
So I
know,
think we need to understand that the importance of empathy.
yes,
What
very
is
much
the
so. It's hard for them too,
empathy?
It's very hard for the children as well if they can't go down to play, or even if they want to go down, but their parents are paranoid. Don't meet this friend because this friend's grandparent may have had COVID, and so for them as well, it's very very strange because you see, children don't have a precedent. Like if you have been
Yeah.
through stress in your life, in your past, and
Yeah.
then you come into this COVID situation, you say, yeah, stress is not something I am a stranger to. So this is a different kind of stress, but I have dealt with stress as an entity before. Like when there was a time when I finished my MBA and I couldn't find a job because the economy was in a nosedive because of the global financial crisis, which happened in the US and the bubble burst, etc. So I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
those days as if they were yesterday, even though that was
Lehman.
so
Lehman
Lehman
days.
Brothers, yeah, the
Lehman.
crash. No one was hiring. There were pay cuts, people. And I remember how stressed I used to feel every day. So when COVID happened, I said, at least now I don't have to worry as much about money. At least now I don't have to worry as much about being employed because now I work for myself. I have some investments and some money is coming in, which is fine enough for me to pay my bills. So I remember the stress I went through. I remember how it felt when I was, struggling. But children don't have anything to fall back on because they're so
Correct.
young. They're 7 years old. So what have they seen in those 7 years? They may not even remember 4 of those 7 years. So it's like when you have a huge library of books, you can pull out any book and find out, acha, this is what I need to refer to. But when you have only one book on one subject and you
Yeah.
need to learn 10 different things, you're like, oh no, but this book is not teaching me this. So that's why children are that much more vulnerable and require that much more support and patience and love and care and curation and attention from their families, from societies, and even from their
Also, when you
schools.
also when you try to pressurize them too much, I think they're bound to revolt.
Yes.
And this current generation, revolts much more than what I mean, I used to revolt, or probably you revolted during your childhood. As you said, because of they're exposed to various things in life. You know, the speed with which things are happening is totally different.
Right.
So, in that kind of a situation, what kind of advice do you give to parents?
Be kind and patient and empathetic and be communicative. Don't expect your child to be a mind reader. Your child is not a magician. Your child lacks context and your child lacks experience and your child lacks bargaining power and your child may not be a very eloquent communicator. So it is your job as a parent to show leadership through a situation which can be seen as a crisis situation. This is a crisis situation, isn't it? The way if a ship is sinking, the captain of the ship has to take over and give instructions to people
Correct.
saying, okay, we need to get these many lifeboats ready, we need these many hands on this part of the ship, and this needs to happen so that the logistics of survival can be worked upon. So as a parent,
No, but as a leader, as a parent, when I am myself stressed,
yes,
it could be, as you said, the loss of job, pay cut,
yes,
not kind of things not happening the way I wanted. So I am under pressure. See, I am pressure from my side, but also I have to
That's
look at
right. That's
my
right.
children's pressure also.
Correct.
So how do I adjust to that pressure?
Well, you need to accept the fact that you're not feeling pressure independent of what everyone else is feeling. You are feeling pressure just as everyone in society is currently feeling pressure, just as
So
everyone
you're
in.
not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. Take comfort in that, okay? I know it's not enough to go on, but the fact is that we have to be comfortable with discomfort. Even if there was no coronavirus, there would be 120 things that could make you uncomfortable, whether it's a crowded train
Sure.
or it's a traffic-filled highway, or whether it's police brutality in the US making people living in Dadar feel uncomfortable and they're tweeting about it. Oh my
Yeah.
God, what's happening in the US? So we as human beings are constantly looking for problems to solve or become a part of. Why? Because we want to feel engaged with our society, with our community, with the world, and we want to also prove and showcase to our circle that look, we are extremely opinionated, we're extremely aware, we are clued in, that we're not fools, we're not just living for ourselves. We have some kind of community responsibilities as well. So people also want to create a good impression for themselves. So we will always, as a species, look for things to jump into, to look for solutions. That's we are problem solvers by nature. Even when we
So
lived in
doctor,
caves, when we lived in
yeah.
caves, we found a solution called fire. Then we found a solution through nomadic travel. Then agricultural revolution took place and villages got set up, civilizations got set up, irrigation, sewage. So we have always found solutions to our problems as human beings. So
Yeah,
that
now that you mentioned the word civilization, I think that the lifestyle related issues also matter a lot when it comes to mental stability or mental health is concerned.
Yep.
Like watching too much of television, watching too much of violence, etc. on the screen. Like I remember one school principal telling me because the SSC results that year were not too good because of too much of television.
Acha.
Students, they're not too much of television, too much of violence, too much of screaming, screeching. There's all kind of things disturbing things are happening all around. In fact, my family doctor told me, don't watch television news before you go to bed.
Interesting.
So I think even the lifestyle, the way you bring up your children, the way you conduct yourself at home, the way you watch news, way you make your children habituated to certain television programs, entertainment, all that also matters. Don't you think so?
I feel television or YouTube or Netflix has a limited role to play as opposed to the role the family plays. So if your father shouts at your mother at the dinner table because he feels the food that she has made is too spicy or too oily or the roti has become cold, that can damage the
Yeah.
child more than if he's watching an action movie with Sylvester Stallone killing 100 Mexicans with a machine gun. Okay, so I believe what a child sees in their house, in their school, with their friends, with their elders, has a far more stronger imprint. Yeah, I'm not saying watch Arnab Goswami or anyone, on their shows. They're always talking very loudly, very passionately. That's fine. See, that man also has a show to run. A lot of people treat him like he's some kind of, uh, you know, some kind of fool. He's not. He's a very smart and strategic
Yeah.
television news anchor. This is his style. This is his USP. That when he shouts and screams and he yells, that is his debate style format. Okay.
And
Uh,
he does what sells.
he
People
does.
will
He does
watch
what
that kind of
sells. He does what
yeah.
sells. Absolutely, there's a demand for it. If you weren't watching his channel, he wouldn't be shouting so much. So it's,
Yeah.
as I said, it's a double-edged sword, really. So
Yeah.
it's very easy. When I was growing up, people used to blame MTV, etc. Oh, this is the MTV generation. They think India
Yes.
are becoming westernized. See, I think we can learn something amazing from every culture. You can learn something amazing from the Spanish people, from the Japanese people, from Islam, from the Gujarati community. You can learn if you want to learn, and you can be very
Yeah.
very close-minded if you say no, no, my culture is the best, my country is the best, my community is the best, my house is the best, my family is the best, my father is the best. I think nobody's the best. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
contextual. The world's richest man 5 years ago may not be the world's richest man now. He may be the third richest man because someone or the other is always going to climb up those steps and find their moment to shine. That's
So I
the,
think not having an open mind
yeah.
also obviously causes mental problems. If you don't
That is
have
the
open mind,
biggest.
you will
That is the
constantly
biggest cause. That is the biggest
but
cause.
I
Yeah.
think that's the solution.
So don't. So, yeah,
That
exactly. So
discussion,
absolutely.
that's the
So don't.
solution.
Exactly. So a lot of people, they get very angry. Like China, China. We hate China. Pakistanis.
Yeah.
And ask those people, how many Chinese people have you met in your life to hate them so
Yes.
much? Not even five. And somebody living in Mizoram doesn't count because that's in India. That's not in China. They look a little.
Yeah.
They have those what they call
Yeah.
the Asian features. But that's
Yeah. The
it's a,
Mongolian
whatever. So
features.
but that has nothing to do. They speak probably as good Hindi as you do. So here's the thing: increase your exposure, increase your appetite for learning. Don't be so typeset in your ways, and pass that enthusiasm and curiosity to the next generation as well. Okay, your child can play violent video games, but if he sees his father being violent with his mother, I would say the father's behavior will affect him more than a video game, because a child is also not an idiot. He also knows it's unrealistic and that he's killing zombies or aliens, or he's fighting in a war with a machine gun. An AK-47 is so heavy you may not even be able to carry it. It's so loud, one bullet shot and you can go deaf in the ear.
I know. Yeah.
Okay,
You know,
but
I grew up watching this Dennis the Menace, comics.
right.
So one of in comics, Dennis tells his mother, "Hey, don't shout at me. I'm not your husband."
Absolutely. I mean, they
Yeah.
had Dennis
Yeah,
the
but
Menace. We also had
yeah,
Lord Krishna who was going climbing up and stealing makhan. Children are naughty.
yeah,
Children are curious. Yeah. When Lord Krishna does it, it's "Arey, Krishna ji ne makhan churaya
supposed to be,
kisi."
yeah.
But then when
Bhagwan.
someone else does it, they're like, "Arey, your child goes and puts his hand in a jar of honey." You'll say, "Arey, what a stupid child he is," and all. So come
Correct.
on, man, don't have double standards. I don't have double standards. The child is going to be curious, is going to make mistakes, is going to be a little annoying, is going to try to be a little manipulative sometimes to get what he wants, is going to be a
And
little
they try to
cranky.
hide. They try to hide things also, like makan chor. बोलो माँ मैंने makan नहीं चुराया.
Huh.
Today, if your child does try to hide something, you admonish the child.
Yeah, don't admonish him, explain
This,
to him, appeal to his intelligence, appeal to the child's logic. Because understand that they may not share your morality or they don't share your culture. A culture
yeah,
changes with every generation with different exposure. Okay?
true.
What you grew up watching, what versus what your child has grown up watching is very different. So they're going to want different things, think in different ways. And
Watching,
Mhm.
watching, living, etc. That we've discussed. Does the diet also play a role in your mental health
See,
issues?
I would argue to say
What you
that
eat,
yes, I would argue to say you are what you eat. For example,
what
if
you
I'm giving if I'm going to have a long talk, I'm going to give. I will not eat carbohydrates that day because carbohydrates tend to slow you down because then they go in your body. They break down as glucose, and then you kind of become a bit lethargic. So, definitely if you have a lot of coffee, you'll be like constantly running, you'll be like a Rajdhani train. I would
yeah,
recommend, I mean, I'm not a nutrition consultant, but some basic things like stay hydrated. Green tea is excellent for your health.
yeah,
Uh, don't eat very, very late at night. Don't eat very, very heavy dinners because, because if you eat a heavy breakfast, at least you metabolize that and you go, you
correct.
sort of burn that during the day when you're working, but after you eat at night and then you sleep, you're kind of flat on your bed. So these are a
True.
few very basic things that even Google can tell you. I don't need me to tell you that. But yes, you do
Yeah.
need to look at what you eat, especially if you are unhealthy or if you are putting on weight or if you're, generally falling sick very often. So because the body will,
Also,
yeah,
also during the COVID time, in lockdown time, there is hardly any body movement. So
absolutely.
not many
So
people are exercising at home. Not
and
even whatever
another
can be.
another
Yeah,
tip I would give people is eat your food a little slower, because a lot of you don't actually need
eat
a lot
fast.
of food, as opposed to how we serve it we see it served at restaurants. Don't forget restaurants have to also clear their inventory for the day of non-veg, of
Correct.
vegetables. So they'll give you big portions. Nahi to you'll say, oh, I'm paying 350 rupees, मेरे को इतना ही खाना दिया. You understand what I'm saying? That you gave me such little food.
Yeah,
So they're also they are running a business. But your body is
yeah,
not a business. Your body
true.
is your only ally, really, if you think about it, in this lifetime of yours. Your body is your closest and truest ally that will never lie to you. Your family will lie to you, society will lie to you, the government will lie to you, your teachers will lie to you, your spouse will lie to you, your children will lie to you, but your body will never lie to you. If you're sick, you're gone. End of story. If you're
In
fat,
fact,
you're unhealthy, that's it. Your
yeah.
body won't lie to you. If you इतना पेट बाहर आ रहा है, तो your body knows कि भाई तुमने कुछ गलत खाया है इसलिए तो पेट बाहर आ रहा है. Or if on the other hand you're extremely thin and you are losing a lot of weight and it's causing a problem, then that is also something that needs to be looked at. तो वो आप nutrition के
And
videos देखो, go to a nutrition consultant and make sure you take good care of your body.
yeah, as they say, this saying goes, you live only once. But I don't think so. You live every day, you die only once.
Absolutely. So well said. 100%. You die only
So,
once.
Dr. Aman Bhosle, thank you very much for your time. We had an excellent chat. I'm sure our viewers also will like it. And thank you very much for your time.
It's a very
We'll get back
labyrinthian
to-
topic, you understand? It's a very labyrinthian,
Yeah.
it's a very diverse topic, mental health. In just the limited time we've had, we've not been able to cover everything. But if I was to quickly summarize for our viewers what they really need
Yeah.
to do in order to live happy lives is first,
Yes.
never lose your sense of curiosity. Never, ever, ever feel that you have learned everything and that you're better than everyone. So the second point,
Yes.
please don't be arrogant about what you know, because there's always someone smarter, younger, faster, with better resources than you who is going to come after your pot of gold.
Yes.
3, please be kind to your kids, okay? They don't have the experience, the bandwidth, or the leverage to be able to really get what they want. So they're going to try to do it in silly ways, okay? Point number 4 is, if you feel like you are stressed out or things are not working out, please go and talk to a therapist. Please find a therapist who you are comfortable with, who meets your expectations, who has the right, most importantly, not the pseudosciences, like crystal healing, all these things. I mean, it can go either ways, Go with someone who has a degree in this subject, okay? Because there are a lot of quacks, there are a lot of people passing off as healers who are actually just trying to make a quick buck off you, okay? And point number 5 is, build a network of people who you can rely on. You don't need to have 25,000 friends. You can have even 4 friends, but they're such good, high quality, caring friends that if you were hospitalized, at least one of those 4 friends would be at the hospital before your ambulance reached there. So it's very good to build good relationships as well. Despite the fact that you can't leave your house, you can meet new people through WhatsApp, join groups. On LinkedIn, you can become a little more aggressive, give recommendations, ask for recommendations. So create a good network of goodwill. And these will
Also, I think you need to build have a passion and pursue it.
absolutely find what you love what you find.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Doctor.
My pleasure.
Thank you, viewers, for your time for watching this program. We will soon be getting back to you with another interesting program. Thank you very much. Bye bye, Doctor.
Bye, guys.